What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So there's something I did want to talk about today in Motorfest that I would probably say everyone has talked about at least from one point or another, and that is going to be the server problems in this game and should they really be a priority. Now, I would probably guess and say everyone's like, well, hold on a second, Block, you don't have to say anything else. Yes, the servers legit should be a priority, they should fix them, and a lot of people might be wondering, oh, what do you mean, man? I can log on to the game just fine, I can play it, and that is going to be a great thing that, yeah, you can log on to the game, you can play it. I mean, most of the time when I'm playing Motorfest, it pretty much runs smooth. I would probably say like 90%. Sometimes it would freeze up or have issues here and there. Like, yeah, the game will crash here and there, but nothing too absolutely insane. The thing I did want to talk about with this, though, is on the server side of it, which I would say I've probably seen this being talked about more in comment sections on Instagram, X, pretty much on YouTube, Discord. Everybody talks about it at least one time or another. And not only that, though, I've also been seeing people saying the servers are going to be ancient, like they do need to be updated. There's going to be issues with them. It's amazing the game's even running on these servers that it's currently on, which I would say is probably going to be a bit scary when you really do think about it. But the thing is, though, the main three things I see being talked about with the servers: number one, being able to see people in your crew, they're always going to be disappearing or they're not even showing up. That seems to be a thing I did notice a lot of players have issues with. Now, yes, there is probably going to be solutions. There might be ways to fix this, but you shouldn't have to go through that stuff, or at least go through a loophole just to see a crew member in a lobby, man. Like, look, you should not have to do that stuff. If you're going to be invisible, that is probably going to be kind of annoying. You join a crew, someone joins you, you might have two friends that want to cruise, but you can't see them. Don't y'all think that would probably get a bit frustrating? And the insane part is this was also a thing that was in the Crew 1. Yes, 10 years ago, this was going to be a thing back then. It was also going to be a thing in the Crew 2. I do remember, like, playing the game with my friend a lot back then, doing hyper events, and when we would join, we'd normally be like, okay, so we're going to do the Dallas hyper race. Okay, let's spawn into Dallas. We both spawn in there. I see like the insignia pop up, his emblem and all that, his name, but I do not see him, so I go drive away and come back. Sometimes he would appear, we'd have to join a race back out of it, then he would appear. Then sometimes we'd be driving, he'd disappear, I'd have to go drive away, come back. Like, that was legit going to be a thing. We're talking 4+ years ago. In that game, it's also going to be an issue in Motorfest. Now, that is probably going to be a big issue on the side of, I guess, the engine they're running. Maybe the way they're doing the servers is probably the biggest problem. In fact, I was hearing something about this, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Apparently, the reason why the grand races work so dang good is because that, I guess, maybe the server part of that is going to be a lot better than the servers in the free roam part of it, because that's going to be another issue I did want to discuss. Yes, the grand races are going to be incredibly good. I admit that. It's kind of funny how I don't think I've ever discovered any type of issue joining a grand race with a friend or a few crew members, but if you go in a free roam, then they're going to disappear. You try to join an event, but that is going to be the second thing I've been seeing being discussed everywhere. If you are going to join a crew, you see your friend, right? You can drive around with them, but the second you try to join an event, guess what? You get like an infinite black screen. You can't see them. And the insane part, though, is I did make a video about this legit almost a year ago, and I was seeing people going, this is still not fixed in January 2025. And, well, guess what, guys? The servers are still going to be broken even right now. Yes, if you are trying to join a race with your friend or something, the screen might go black. You are then going to join this race solo because something happened. Every time I was trying to do events, I got that every single time I did it. Now, yes, as I mentioned, there's probably going to be a few ways you can fix this, whether it's like maybe the NAT type or like the peer-to-peer thing or whatever they do with the servers. But the thing is, though, you should not have to jump through loopholes in order to join a friend and do a simple event with them if you did want to do it. I think that is a big issue. On top of not being able to see a crew member because they're invisible, trying to join a race, you can't even do the race because it always kicks you out, or maybe you could do like 2 or 3 races and it kicks you out afterwards. You have to join again. Then they're going to be invisible or something happens, you join the race, it doesn't work. Now, there's also another part of these server issues I've been seeing being discussed everywhere. Now, I don't know how widespread this is or how often it does happen. I would probably say even I have noticed it even driving around a good amount of times. This is going to be when you guys do end up seeing random people in your lobby. I think it's 7 people, right? that's how many people are in one lobby, something like that. But when you are driving, you see them, you're not going to be able to see them forever because, well, they do normally end up disappearing. I did have one time I was driving with some people. There was around like 3 or 4 of us. We were cruising around a bit. We went around a corner, then boom, everybody basically disappeared. I was like, yo, where did everybody go? I'm looking at the map. My entire server's empty. I drive around for a bit, and there is legit nobody anywhere. Now, what's weird about this, though, is I've also had times back in the crew 2, this has happened on this game. I can legit drive around with somebody for like 30, 40 minutes and no issues. Other times you might have 2 or 3 people with you, you see them, you're like, yo, y'all want to drive around or something, you cruise around a bit, everybody disappears. I feel like that really is going to be a very inconsistent problem. Like, we all do know that, yes, sometimes a game might work fine, you could see those people, cruise with them, and sure, maybe it's going to be okay, but other times you might see them and, well, you might be able to get some time, then once in a while you might turn around or, turn the camera around, maybe whip your car back to the other direction, and then boom, everybody is legitimately gone. I don't know why it's doing this. It probably has to do with like the overall free roam server issue. Probably similar to like joining a crew and getting into like an event with the black screen. I'm going to guess to say all of those issues probably tie in together. Then we all do know once again that the Grand Races and I think also the Demolition Royale has pretty much the best servers that you can find in the game. I did notice that. And I am going to be guessing right now that they most likely probably put all their resources into the Grand Race servers. Now this is probably me just trying to like infer and be like, okay, well that does make sense. They were pretty much promoting the entire Grand Race thing everywhere for a while because that is going to be the main special point of Motorfest, am I right? The Grand Race is going to be a big chaotic race. The servers can't be like, making everyone disappear, like people aren't going to be showing up. That would be a very big issue. But the other side of it, though, a lot of players probably aren't a big fan of Grand Races and they want to be in free roam. But the free roam side of it seems to be affecting everybody that is playing in some way or another. I mean, yeah, like I said, you could probably play and see people sometimes, but every time I was playing, guys, and pretty much every time I am in free roam, I am normally not in a session with the same people for that long, not even kidding. Like, yeah, you might see them and be like, okay, well, maybe I can join their crew or something if you do want to drive with them. But if you're looking to drive with randoms and pretty much cruise around, though, I would say you're pretty much flipping a coin if you are going to stay with those people in that server. And again, though, guys, I am curious to know how often you are experiencing these issues in the comments below. Like, are you having issues joining a crew? Do you see your friends? Do you see your crew members if you join like a random one? Can you even join an event? Are you going to get the black screen when you are cruising around in free mode? Do you actually see people for a while? Do they basically disappear after a bit? I am curious to know what everybody is going through. Now, the reason why I think the entire server side of it is a big problem is we all do know how on Need for Speed Unbound we have like the link ups or like these free mode things that happen. That would be insanely hard to see something like that being a thing on Motorfest because, well, if you can't stay in a server long enough with people or it's going to be incredibly unstable, if you were to have like an event like a link up in there, it's probably not going to work very well. And I would say that's going to be a big issue if they aren't focusing on that stuff or making these servers a big priority to really truly fix them. Then again, though, if we're going to be having some of these issues even back in the Crew 1, going right into the Crew 2 and now into Motorfest, well, I really hate to say this, but it's most likely never truly going to be fixed. But my question is, though, will they ever really fix this, though? Again, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below and the issues you are having. I am curious to know how many players are experiencing this. Maybe there could be a way they could end up fixing this. So, well, maybe in the future we actually could have some cool free roam type of things going on, whether we can do like a link up type of thing, or maybe we can do like a drifting session where you can actually get points or like money, XP or stuff from it. I feel like that would be incredibly fun to do. The only issue with that, though, is if the servers aren't stable enough for it, it is most likely not going to work.